let's get ready to do absolutely nothing today. Just kidding. Today, I'm not really doing anything that important, but I wanted to film it because I'm about to go on vacation on a cruise, and I had shared in a previous video pretty much the skincare that my non-negotiable skincare that I bring with me on vacation or out of town or whatever. And many of you said you also wanted to see my pretty much non-negotiable makeup that I bring with me. So I would have to say that this makeup I'm about to share is some of my holy grails and probably the best of the best makeup in my opinion. And with a market that is so ridiculously oversaturated with makeup and skincare, since I pretty much test skincare and makeup for a living, you know that if I'm sharing it, it is something that I do really use and I love a lot. And I'm just drinking some ginseng tea. Actually, I'll just show you the supplements that I just took since it's sort of morning, early afternoon. So this is the tea that I'm drinking. I've shared it before. This is 100% pure ginseng. It looks like tar, and it comes with this little spoon. And do you see this? It just looks like this really thick, kind of rich tar. I actually grew up drinking this off and on, but you know, now that I'm older, I do enjoy drinking it. My parents used to drink this all the time, and you know, my parents had amazing skin. I mean, they still do, but I remember back then they always had like just such a beautiful glow, healthy, vibrant looking skin. But I think they were always taking this for like energy. It's supposed to be really good for the blood. But drinking pure, not fake, but pure ginseng, I will link this one down below. This is supposed to be really good to help with inflammation in the body. And if you deal with hyperpigmentation, melasma, or any types of issues in your body or your skin that can be triggered from inflammation, which many things are, this is just a great daily tea to drink. I just do, you know, one a day. There's actually some studies that I've read also of how ginseng, pure ginseng, not like the fake or super watered down kind, but pure ginseng, how it can help with the skin health and glow and improve circulation, and especially help with hyperpigmentation and melasma. Now this is pure ginseng tea, but there's the red ginseng that I want to try next once I finish this, because I've also read some studies of how red ginseng can also really help make a difference with melasma, more than this ginseng. And then I'm also drinking one of my all-time favorite electrolytes. I usually drink about one of these a day. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, but they taste absolutely amazing. But I had just bought these. I've already drank these. I bought them a few weeks ago. I had not tried these yet. Now this is from the brand Ultima. I only drink their electrolytes. I've tried pretty much every other electrolyte on the market. A lot of them are just loaded with sugar, and you know, they just don't really make a difference. But this brand is my favorite. But this is their new one. This is their tea refresher variety. And so if you're a tea drinker, I've never really been a big tea drinker. I like green tea and of course ginseng tea. But if you love tea, oh my gosh, like I love tea after trying these. I drank them all. That's how amazing they are. My favorite is the peach green tea. Oh my golly, if you mix this with some water and then just pour it over ice, it is divine. Absolutely amazing. And again, 0 calorie, 0 carb, 0 sugar. So I just wanted to share these because I had not tried these yet. And then the supplements that I just took, it's pretty much what I take every day. This is just what I take in the early part of the day. I do take other ones in the afternoon and evening, and I'm gonna share an updated supplement video here soon. But anyways, really quickly, I took my liposomal glutathione, my liposomal high strength vitamin C. By the way, vitamin C, of course, you know, is great for immune health. It's also great to help these other ingredients work better, but this is specifically what I'm taking to help fade my melasma and reduce that inflammation in my skin, to help get rid of that excess pigment. And glutathione is really great, you know, for liver health, and that can help detox the body and fade melasma also. I like to take 1 N-acetylcysteine when I take my glutathione. It helps the glutathione to work better also. I take my Hyacera. I've been sharing this for a while. I really like this. Now, if you only take this for 1 month, you're gonna be like, nope, didn't work. And that's how I was at first. I think it took a good 3 months before I actually saw results. Most supplements don't work super quickly anyways, but if you stick with it, I think you're really gonna like it. If you deal with dry skin, crepey skin, you feel like you're piling on every moisturizer on your face and your body and nothing's working, maybe you need to hydrate and moisturize from the inside out. I love these little capsules. It's like a capsule in a capsule. It's got this nice kind of vanilla scent. These have really great reviews. There's actually scientific studies on this ingredient with actual evidence showing the difference in people's fine lines and wrinkles, which that's what really got me wanting to test it. And then I kept hearing a lot of people rave about it online. And after I'd say 3 months of taking it, I started forgetting to put on moisturizer on my body after the shower. You know, usually after the shower, I'm like, oh my golly, let me put my oil or moisturizer on right away. And I keep forgetting. And then I realized, oh, it's probably from this, because this actually hydrates and moisturizes and plumps up the skin from the inside out. So this is something I like to do in addition to my skincare routine, and I'm really enjoying it. For my hair health, to help prevent my hair from shedding or falling out, I like to take pumpkin seed oil. You could even take like saw palmetto, things like that, but I have another video with all of the studies showing how this increased hair growth by 40% in the people that were in the study. I will pop that other video up here. I also like to take my Shade Factor. This is a more affordable polypodium leukotomas. It's like the HelioCare and the Isden one, but this one's a little bit more affordable. And I really like this. So this is something that can help. It's like an internal sunscreen, but it would never obviously replace our topical sunscreen. But this can really help prevent that UV damage in our skin, also from the inside out. And then of course I took one of my vitamin Ds. This one says it's a vitamin D3 plus K, but this one says it's 10,000, but it's not. I just liked the small little bottle, especially for travel, but this one's actually 5,000. I've already gotten my vitamin D up to around 100. It used to be 20, you guys, and that's when I used to have depression, my hair was falling out, getting sick, getting colds all the time. Now I hardly ever catch a cold, and I feel like because my vitamin D levels stayed nice and high, and you know, not too high. It's kind of difficult to overdose on vitamin D. I mean, it would take a long time. I was doing the 10,000 and the 25,000 every day, and then it really helped to quickly boost my vitamin D levels. And one thing, I did another video on this. There are scientific studies showing that this helps prevent the telomeres from shortening. So basically, overall, they did a study at Harvard showing that this actually can slow down the aging process in our cells. So it's actually a quite interesting study. I'll try to remember to pop that video up here and link it down below as well if you're interested. But that's pretty much what I take in morning or afternoon, or you know, whenever I eat. I do like to take most of these with food. But like I said, I will share an upcoming supplement video of everything I take, and of course I'll go in more detail why I take them. And always remember, don't just willy-nilly go take whatever supplements that I share that I like to take for myself. Make sure you always check with your doctor first before you take any supplements. All right, so skincare is already finished, and then I used one of my favorite sunscreens that you probably are tired of hearing me rave about for the past, I don't know, 8 years. So my skin, I know it looks like it's greasy, but it's completely dry. It's just, I'm sitting in the kitchen. I don't use special lighting or anything like that. It's just these lights that are hanging. They're kind of bright, and then it's really sunny today, and then I have the patio open, so it just kind of looks like it's beaming on my forehead. I mean, I do have really glowy, healthy skin anyways because of the skincare I use, but I promise you it's not wet. It's already dried down. It just might look like that. I'm gonna show you all of the makeup. Actually, before I show you this, I want to show you the makeup that I'm gonna bring on my upcoming little 10-day vacation. Now, I'm not bringing all of this. Look at what a mess this makeup bag is. I got it on Amazon, and it's got my grimy fingerprints all over it, and so I'm not taking all of this. This is just kind of the mess I made after doing my makeup yesterday. And I have, you know, tons more makeup, obviously. I'm a content creator, and I have it all organized in the bedroom in little, you know, thingies. But I don't want to bring all of this on the cruise because I actually don't put this in my actual suitcase, because I would not be happy if they lost the suitcase. On one cruise, this guy kept noticing he was wearing the same shirt and same pants every single day, and he told us that they lost his luggage on the cruise after he already checked it in. So that was like a new fear for me. So now I make sure I bring, you know, my pillow, my blanket. I try to put everything in this little teeny kind of carry-on, and I put like a little backpack thing on top of it, and I put all of my essentials in my head, assuming like, what if they lose my luggage? Like, okay, so what if I have to wear the same pair of shoes every day? But I surely cannot have them lose my skincare and makeup. So I'm gonna show you, because now I'm gonna organize it and get it ready for the cruise. I'm gonna buy a smaller little kind of makeup bag. I just like how this one, I don't wanna just throw it. I have plenty of like little, you know, makeup bag type things, small ones, but I like how this one has like the divider for brushes and things like that. So I wanna get something similar to this, but smaller. So I'm gonna look on Amazon, see what I can find. And this is super cheap, but this has lasted me for like a year, even though it looks hideous with, you know, the makeup and fingerprints on it. So anywho, I'm gonna quickly do my makeup and I'll go through exactly what is a non-negotiable. So obviously it's something I am in love with that I'm gonna bring with me on this little 10-day trip. All right, I am bringing both of these foundations. Normally, I just get away with bringing my Holy Grail from Naked Sundays. This is their beauty screen. It's an SPF 50, kind of like a skin tint, but my melasma had gotten a little bit darker and I've got a couple little breakouts, and this still works, and then I can just conceal, spot conceal where I wanna add more coverage. But when my melasma is darker, I actually love using my CL, their skin tint. This is an SPF 50 skin tint. I can show you a video later if you want to see a side-by-side comparison. I love these both, but this one is my Holy Grail because this one for me, since I like a little bit more of a lighter coverage that just makes my skin look like beautiful, healthy skin, that's why I gravitate to this. But I can understand, obviously, like when my melasma is darker, or if you have any darker pigmentation or things on your face that you don't want to be as visible, maybe this wouldn't be something for you if you're trying to conceal a little bit more. So this one does have a little bit fuller coverage. This one's more of like a light to medium coverage, and this one's more of a medium, and you could get it to a full coverage, but I don't put that much on. With this, I always use a primer, and I actually don't love their primer that goes with it. Now, I know they just came out with a new one, a glowy one, so of course I'm gonna buy that and try that out too. But the primer I love, like this combination right here, this combination makes me love this better than this. That's how amazing these are together. So what this is an oil-free tinted face primer with SPF 30 in it. The fact that it's oil-free, it's not drying, but it just helps prevent this one from looking super kind of greasy throughout the day. But this also is an all-mineral SPF 30. This is from Glow Skin Beauty. I'll make sure I link it down below. This will last forever. This is a huge amount, and I literally, let me just show you, I only use 1 pump of this. Actually, I'm probably just gonna use half a pump of this. So I'm definitely bringing this oil-free primer. This will come in handy, especially on days if I'm kind of sweaty or glowy. But do you see how this has, my lights are so bright. I wish I could dim those kitchen lights. But do you see how this has enough tint that it actually offers a smidgy of coverage? So perhaps you don't even like wearing foundation, but you just kind of want to not necessarily mattify down your face, but just kind of tone down the shine and help prevent oils from coming through all day long, and you like that super sheer coverage, you might really like this over top of your sunscreen as your super sheer oil-free skin tint. I get it pretty much all over my face, but I don't get it right up underneath my eyes. And my CL, that's another thing. I mean, I love this product, but the packaging, I wish it just had a quick little easy pump, because look at this mess that I make with this. But this comes with a dropper, and I just don't use it. I use maybe half a dropper of this. Like, that's probably way too much. This is a beautiful foundation, and this is the brush that I'm loving with it. I'll link it down below, but you guys, this is from Real Techniques. So sometimes I kind of go like this and swipe it, but usually I just quickly stipple it all over. And this does just such a remarkable job at covering any excess hyperpigmentation, melasma, any acne spots, or just any sunspots or age spots that you have. And then I just kind of gently like blend it slightly. I don't do the full amount, but I just slightly blend it down my neck. I actually wash this every single day. It's very easy to wash. Just, you know, soap and water. I just use my face soap. And especially since I'm putting a cream on it, because I don't want it to build up any germs or cooties and make me break out even more. I get it right around here, but I don't get it way up underneath my eye, because I'm gonna put concealer underneath my eyes, and I don't want to have, you know, multiple layers of products underneath my eyes. I actually had extra left over, so I'm just wiping it off. Now, after I put that on with the brush, I'm gonna bring a blending sponge. This is a beauty blender, the expensive ones. They had sent this to me. I hadn't used it in so many years. I do really like it because I feel like it washes so well. But for me, I get rid of my sponges like every 30 days, because since I am super acne prone, I'm not trying to encourage more germs all over my face that get trapped in these sponges. So I do wash this every single day, especially since I use it to kind of press over my cream products. And I do really like it, but I mean, there's some that are like $1 on the market that to me work just as good. Even though I am trying to cover up some of my excess pigmentation or, you know, little pimple spots, I don't want to look like a cake face, so I make sure I kind of just gently press off any excess. And then what I will do is I will just use a separate concealer, which I'll show you now which one I use to cover up any excess pigmentation, because my melasma is actually spreading down here. It's very light, but I can see it. But my other favorite is from CL. This is their SPF 50 concealer. This is probably my 5th or 6th one. I buy this nonstop. I love it so much. If you have an acne spot or an age spot or whatever, or any kind of spot, especially melasma, this is great for people with melasma. Using all makeup that has sunscreen in it is a total game changer, because instead of just putting your regular sunscreen on, everything you do afterwards is also layering more sunscreen, so it really helps make a difference in your spots to fade. And everything, if I go through things too quickly, because it takes 800 years for me to hold it up and pop up stuff on the screen, I'll make sure I link everything down below. So make sure you look down below in the description box. Now YouTube's gonna pop up their little pictures and links. You're gonna see where it says more or show more right below that. Click that, and I personally have written out every single product. If I can find a discount code or anything like that, I will link that down below as well. So if it's too quickly, or maybe you didn't catch something, just leave me a comment and I'm more than happy to share with you the names and links and things like that. So this is one that I love to use just to add that extra full coverage. And I'm talking, this is a full coverage product. So I just wanted to put a little bit on one side of my face just so you could see. It's not gonna make me look like a total cake face, but it's really gonna add that little extra bit of coverage where I need it. And I love this concealer so much. The other product I like to use is my holy grail from 𝑽𝑰_𝑫𝑬𝑹, but it only comes in 2 shades. This looks a hot mess. I have like 4 more backups because I never wanna run out of this. I wear shade beige, but you guys, this is a perfect match for me. Now it does come with a sponge, but the sponge, it gets kind of grimy, and so I just throw it out and use a brush since I can wash it every day. But I don't know if you can tell the coverage on this because my kitchen lights are bright. Let me zoom in a little more, see if that helps some. But this gives the best coverage. Some days this is all I use for my foundation, and it's an SPF 50, all mineral SPF 50. Fantastic. I have raved about this for years. I love it so much. I keep one in my purse always. So if you ever want to touch up your sunscreen throughout the day, this is perfect for that. I always like to take something like that to the beach with me if I want that little extra coverage, but of course I want protection. It's just a fabulous, fabulous product. And now pretty much my canvas is done, but if you see it up close, it's not super cakey. It just adds just the right amount of coverage. Now, I can lollygag for 15 minutes and kind of just let this set on its own, but one thing I will say about this foundation, it's not super self-setting, so I do find myself, sorry, my nose itches, I do find myself wanting to use a loose powder when I use this, but like I said, the coverage is just fabulous. And I've tried pretty much every loose powder that comes on the market, and for my skin, I don't like most of them. This is my all-time favorite. I have used this, I don't know, 5 years. This is from the brand Well People. Most people probably haven't even heard of it. I think you can get it in Target or the grocery store. I'll link it down below if I can find a link. I think this powder sells out non-stop also. And I'm just trying it with this brush. I probably won't bring this one with me because my BK Beauty one is tried and true, but this one's dirty. So I'm bringing the BK Beauty brush for my powder, but this was sent to me from the brand 𝑽𝑰_𝑫𝑬𝑹, so I just wanted to try it out for powder and see what it does. I like it, but I don't love it. So let's just use the BK Beauty one because this one is absolute perfection for just kind of plopping some loose powder all over your face. Since we're on the topic of powders, this is always in my purse, but I do keep one in my makeup bag. This is a holy grail. This is a pressed powder from MAC. This is their blot powder. So when I'm completely finished with my makeup, I will actually take a little of this and put it in my T-zone, but this is what stays in my purse. So if I ever get a little sweaty or oily looking throughout the day, I will just use this. And it's basically, let me just show you. There's virtually nothing on my finger. It's so sheer and lightweight, so it's not like adding some thick cakey layer of powder. This has been a holy grail for since I can remember. And since it's usually in my purse, I forget to share it, but this is for sure coming with me. So first, for eyeshadow primer, for sure, I'm bringing this one. This is the one from Makeup by Mario. I didn't love these as an actual eyeshadow, so I use these as my eye primer. So these are great to help kind of hold on to my eyeshadows to make them last longer, helps prevent them from creasing. But as you can see, it's almost like putting on a concealer. It just pretty much makes the color of my eyelids all the same color. For eyeshadow, this is the only eyeshadow I'm bringing. And people ask me all the time, what is my all-time favorite holy grail eyeshadow? I really don't have one. I did have one back in the day, and then they discontinued it, and that was from Fit Glow Beauty. This is my Z palette. You see how messy this is? Because this is what I use all the time. This is stuff from multiple different brands of things that I love. These were the Fit Glow Beauty ones, these round ones. Now they do still make eyeshadows, but they're like cream shadows. I haven't tried them, but these were their powder ones, and I loved them, and then they stopped making them. And these are all Natasha Denona. This is actually a contour powder from Makeup Forever. This one's called Peanut. This is amazing if you just want the best eyeshadow or contour. But this right here is the eyeshadow I'm bringing, and I think this is from the I Need a Nude palette from Natasha Denona. When I buy a Natasha Denona palette, the big ones, I only use like 4 shades in them. So when they came out with their contour palette, of course I was super excited about this, and I love this pretty much for every single day. Oftentimes on my channel when you guys are like, oh, what is the eyeshadow you have on? It's this. I wear the same shades pretty much every single day. I use every single one of these. So that's what we're gonna do for our eyeshadow. And the reason I like to bring this, I'll just show you, is because then at night, this has this really beautiful kind of shimmer to it. It's so pretty, and it literally goes on like butter, and this is what I put on my eyelid. I'll show you really quickly how I put this on day to day. But for my eyeshadow brushes, the only ones I'm bringing, these are all of the Rephr Shodo brushes. I'm gonna clean them. I clean these about once a week. All of their Shodo collection, can you see how you're probably like, why are there all different lengths in that brush? That is the magic of the Shodo collection. They're shorter ones, like a little bit longer, and then even longer. It's like they're layered almost. And what it does is it allows you to, you can close your eyes and blend your makeup with perfection. You will feel like a makeup artist when you use these, I promise you. Out of every eyeshadow brush I have ever tried in my entire life, and you guys know I try a ton of them, this is what I use every day, pretty much, unless I'm testing out a new eyeshadow brush. These are phenomenal. I cannot recommend these enough. Like if I was gonna buy somebody eyeshadow brushes as a gift, it would be Shodo brushes. A makeup artist, of course, would love them, but I'm telling you, if you're not a makeup artist, which probably most of us aren't, these are a dream, especially if you're heavy-handed and you know, you just make a mess all the time. These are just phenomenal, but they work better when they're clean, and they're due to be cleaned this week. So anywho, I'm just gonna take their big one, and usually I just start from the light shades and work my way all the way up. If you want me to show you how I can do like a hooded eye look on my eyes that have, you know, this excess skin hanging, if you want me to show you a really easy tutorial of how I would do it for daytime versus nighttime, I'm happy to share that. Just leave me a comment down below and let me know if that's something you want to see. So I just kind of use this super light one as like a powder to set that primer, and then I just worked my way up. That's why I like this. This is kind of like a paint by numbers, easy eyeshadow palette. And as you can see, I'm just kind of slapping it on, and that's what the beauty of these Shodo brushes are. You can just kind of do it like without any technique, and it's perfection. And then I just like to take one of the small Shodo brushes when I get to this shade here, and then because if I use this big fluffy one, since I have this kind of excess skin that hangs, I can't really get it that precise. So since now I want to just kind of create, I'm gonna make myself look like my crease is up higher, even though my crease is like down here underneath this skin. So, but do you see this? Do you see how amazing this Shodo brush just kind of gently deposits the eyeshadow, and it's almost blending it for me. I mean, there's really no talent. You don't need skill to use these Eyeshadow brushes. I just do it really sloppy because I'm gonna make it look more precise when I put on my concealer. But for daytime, this is pretty much all I do. I'm just basically trying to create a little bit of definition so that my eyes don't look like they're super pushed forward from that excess skin hanging. I just try to create a little bit of dimension. My other favorite eyeshadow brush that I'm never ever without, this is a BK Beauty. I can't read which one it is, but I'll link it down below. This is the teeniest brush I've ever used that is perfection for eyeshadow. And I just use this as my eyeliner also. And if I want to deepen it up, I can use the black also. So I just put a little bit along my eye. I do it really sloppy, as you can tell, because I'm gonna kind of just diffuse it and make it not look, you know, like a straight line. That's why I'm not a huge fan of using like liquid eyeliner. I am gonna bring one for evening. I'll show you which one here in a second. And then the very end, after I do my mascara, I will kind of create a little bit more of a wing, just you know, to make the eyes look better. But I typically wait to do that till the end. But anywho, for eyeshadow on a trip, this is it, because you can create the most beautiful daytime look. And if you want to really create that beautiful smoky look, just use the darker shades. It's just a perfect little travel palette. So this shade right here for evening, actually I'll just put some on to show you. I literally just put a smidgy on my eyelid. You can transform any eyeshadow look by using this one shade. I'll see if I can figure out the shade, but I'm almost positive this is from the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. I'm actually gonna bring two brow glues. So I normally have this one from Maybelline. This is a great brow gel, and this is the tinted one, but I'm not gonna bring that one. I'm going to bring the tinted one from Benefit, just because it's a little bit smaller, and this one kind of makes my brows a little bit bushier. So when I'm in a hurry and I don't feel like using a pencil, I just put this on only. So this is just a nice brow gel. And my favorite though is this brow gel from NYX. I mean, it's called the Brow Glue Crazy Lift, and it is. This stuff is, it's crazy. It's literally like putting a super thick glue that does not budge on your brows. But then for my brow pencil, I have tried every brow pencil on the market. Nothing, and I mean nothing, compares to my all-time favorite Holy Grail from Kosas. This is their Brow Pop Nano. I use this in shade Black Brown. And if you want the easiest brow tutorial, if you are horrible with doing your brows and you're like, where do I start here? Where do I end? And how do I fill them in? I have the easiest trick. It's the easiest hack that takes like, I don't know, 60 seconds. It's that easy. Anyone can do it. You do not have to be a makeup artist, because I'm not. But I'm gonna pop that other video up here if you wanna watch that. All right, even though this isn't technically makeup, I keep it in my makeup bag because this is something I use every single time right before I put on my concealer. This is my all-time favorite Coffee Eye Lift Serum, and I put a little too much on, but that's okay. I put this underneath my eyes right before I do my concealer. Well, I put it on, kind of let it marinate for a minute and do something else. And then when I go to do my concealer, it just makes my concealer look so much better. So let's do blush while this is marinating. Let me show you the ones that I'm gonna bring. Two that are absolute favorites that I am never gonna be without are from the brand CL. This one is almost empty. This is my favorite shade, Behati. I'm gonna use this today, and I'm gonna use a smidge of the shade Giselle. I have every single shade of these. So if you ever have any questions or you wanna know what shades look the best, just leave me a comment, let me know. I love these so much because these are also all mineral, SPF 50. If you struggle with hyperpigmentation, sunspots, many people have it right here because this is the highest point of our face. So if you deal with that sun always beaming down on your cheeks and you want extra sun protection, using a blush that has sunscreen in it, it's perfection. Even if these weren't sunscreen products, this is my all-time favorite cream liquid blush. It is so pretty. So I am actually bringing 4 blushes. So I'm bringing the 2 from CL, and then I'm bringing a powder blush because I like to kind of set my blush with a powder. So I'm also bringing this one from CL. This is Well Loved. I already bought another one. This is one of their powder blushes. And this one is in the shade Chill. I have every single shade of these also. So if you have any questions about the shades, let me know. And then one of my favorites, I'm not a fan of the packaging, and then of course the label's already rubbed off, but this is from the brand 𝑠AY. This is kind of like, no matter what blush or products I use, if I could get it open, no matter what products I use, I always use this kind of as a blush topper. It just, I don't know, it just kind of brightens up the face. It just looks so pretty. So I always use this at the very end of my makeup. So let's just scrape out some Bahati. And the nice thing is do you see how much I'm able to use of Bahati? So if you really are trying to touch up your sunscreen, this is just perfect because you're really adding that perfect amount. These also look really pretty on the lips, and of course you're getting that added sunscreen protection. With the shade Giselle and many of the other shades, especially this shade that I set to the side. Now I wear this a lot, I just don't want to bring this many. This one is the shade Berry. This one stains. And you can't put this much of this on because it's so pigmented. Same thing with Giselle. If I went like this with Giselle, I would look like a total clown. So I just use a smidgy of this, and then I love using this on my lips. For this and to blend this one's my favorite BK Beauty brush to blend my cream products. This is perfect if you're kind of like that no makeup look. It's just the perfect neutral kind of mauve-y, not too pink, not too mauve. It's just, this is just a beautiful shade. I love it so much. And like I said, it's a sunscreen. I mean, who knew? There's been other brands that have sunscreen makeup, but nobody does it like the brand CL, in my opinion. Let me just show you what Giselle looks like. I never do this with Giselle. I will put it on the back of my hand or arm, just a smidge. I normally don't put that much on, but I just want to show you how just kind of picking up, bloop, the smallest amount. Look at that. And then just trying to kind of get it up in the fibers of the brush to blend it already into the brush, and then I will apply some of it. So for me, this shade Giselle, even though I love the shade because I love it as a cream blush, it wouldn't provide enough sun protection because literally I can only use, you know, the leftover blended amount of it. But with the shade Bahati, you saw how much I can swipe on, and that really offers some great sunscreen protection. For highlighter, I'm bringing 2 highlighters. And again, if you're going on a trip, you do not need to bring this much. I enjoy it. So, because some days just for me, hanging out in the room, getting ready, lollygagging, doing makeup is enjoyable. But for me, I always bring the CL. This is in the shade Piper. This is also an all mineral SPF 50 highlighter. Oh my gosh, this is stunning. So I just put a little here. This comes in 3 shades. And this is my favorite because look at the shade. It almost blends in with your skin, but it just gives you the most gorgeous highlight. Now I'm also bringing this Gucci one. If I wasn't a content creator, I would never have bought any of these higher end makeup products, especially not this Gucci one. But this is the one that came out, I don't know, a year or so ago. And I got like the light purpley one too, but I have fallen in love with this. I was playing around with all my makeup trying to see what I like. And this, to me, this looks just like the CL and Piper. They look identical on, but this one doesn't have sunscreen in it, and I think this one's expensive. But I do love it. So if you don't like to add sunscreen to your makeup, I mean, I don't know why not, but if you just want a really beautiful high-end highlighter, this one is absolutely, it's just stunning. This is the best powder / cream pressed highlighter I've ever used. I feel like I use this all the time, but I've like barely made a dent in it. I mean, so a little bit here, but even though this is expensive, I think this is gonna last a really long time. All right, even though I'm not a huge fan of liquid eyeliner, out of all the liquid eyeliners I've tried, this is the one from Maybelline. This is their Hyper Easy, and this one's the brown shade. I love this one. It doesn't transfer, even if I get hot and sweaty, it doesn't transfer. I don't necessarily use a liquid eyeliner like this during the day, but you know, if I'm going out at night, let me just show you. You can create a super thin or thick, really pretty line, and this stays put. So for me, I don't feel like I need to spend a ton of money. I mean, I just swiped it on and I can barely even get it off already. That's how much it stays put on my eyes. For mascara, I'm bringing 3 of them. And so I'll do my mascara before I do my concealer and lips. I like to bring 3 of them, and you don't need to, but I like to. I make sure I make enough room for them. This one's one of my faves from the brand Dibs. I've shared it a gazillion times. One side of it is this brown tubing primer. It's a dark brown primer. So many days I only use the brown primer alone as my mascara. And then at night, or if you want to use a black mascara to really give you that 𝑽𝑰𝑫𝑬𝑹 and volume, they have a black mascara on the other side. So I just love how handy it is having both products all in one. And then the other 2 products I've really been loving. This is, I think it's fairly new from Lancome. This is their Curl Goddess mascara. So I bought the small one and I love it. And then also their brown lash idol. When this first came out in black, I tried it and I don't know, I just didn't love it because it was difficult to get off. But now the more I've been using it, I really love it because these really make a difference in lifting my lashes. But I'll put on this new one, the Curl Goddess, just to show you. Now, I have used so many affordable mascaras over the years, and I love so many of them. What's the one I used to use? Oh, Maybelline Full and Soft. That was my mascara. I used it nonstop, and I still love it. But there's just so many new mascaras coming out. So for me, I'm not loyal, I guess I'll say, to one mascara. It's just kind of whatever my lashes are doing at the moment. And I do use a serum that helps my lashes to grow longer. I don't use the one with prostaglandins in it anymore, my Revitalash. That was my ride or die before I found out that it can melt the fat around our eyes and cause more hollowing. So I mean, no one wants that. So I use my one from Dermalect. I'll make sure I link the one that I use down below. It's phenomenal, but I have to remember to use it. And if I don't keep it where I will remember to use it, and I forget, it will make a difference and my lashes won't be super long. So, oops, let me wipe this off. But this mascara, and I am bringing a lash curler. I'm also bringing this one, but I'm being lazy and I don't feel like curling my lashes right now because this mascara actually does an amazing job at curling my lashes also. Not only does it curl my lashes, but it really gives them a really nice lift. And then I'm just gonna use my Dibs brown on the bottom. I don't know why, but I don't like to use the black mascara on the bottom. And I always take like a brush or something like this, or Q-tip, or even my finger, and just kind of gently roll up underneath my bottom lashes, because since I use that lash growth serum, I only put it on the top, but you know, it migrates to the bottom, and it makes my bottom lashes really long also, and so I don't like them touching my skin. All right, let me show you the concealers I'm bringing. I'm bringing, for the day, most of the time I just use my Color Science 3-in-1 Total Eye. It's a super kind of lightweight coverage, but it's an all mineral SPF 35, and it's got that really pretty peachy tint, so it will help brighten up kind of this hollowed out area under my eyes. It's just so expensive. I think it's like $80 now. So I only buy it when it's on sale, but you know, I do really love it. And for daytime, usually I'll use my Kosas concealer, and then for nighttime, when I want a little more full coverage, I will use my Hourglass concealer. This one's almost empty. I like to buy them in this little small one though, because since this is so full coverage, like this is too much for both under eyes. And if you take this and swipe it underneath, oh my golly, you'll hate this concealer. I'm gonna bring the Hourglass concealer brush, but I'm also gonna bring this super inexpensive one that I got on Amazon, and I will see if I can find these and link these down below. Really good quality, inexpensive brushes. Do you see how I'm only tapping just a smidgy into the end of this Hourglass, and then I'm just kind of pushing it up inside these little bristles? That's how I use the Hourglass. But this is self-setting. It's beautiful underneath my eyes. Again, if you swipe it on from here, you will hate it. I used to think it's the worst concealer in the world, but now it's like one of my all-time faves because I use it the proper way. But this is why I don't care if I make a mess with my eyeshadow. That's why I don't waste time putting tape and all that on, because when I do my concealer, I just kind of stipple it on, but then I kind of create that lift and that nice smooth line to make it kind of look like I did a wing with my eyeshadow or eyeliner, even though I really didn't. And then I just take a little sponge and then I just kind of gently press around. And I still have a ton concealer left on my hand. So this concealer, I love it because it lasts forever. And like I said, just getting the small size instead of the full size, this will last so long. So when I want my concealer to stay put and not budge, I reach for my Hourglass concealer. For my blush topper or whatever, this is not the brush I'm gonna bring. I'm gonna bring the Eyeshadow brush because that's just like the eyeshadow brushes. I mean, with the Eyeshadow brushes, you could even close your eyes, go crazy with your blush, and it will still look beautiful, but I think I either just washed it or it's in the bin to be washed. But this is another brush that I like. And so let me just show you, because I don't want to put too much on. But then I just kind of press over top of where my concealer was and my blush, and I just kind of, it's almost just like a tinted powder, setting everything where I want it. Oh, I lied. I'm bringing another concealer. This is one from NARS. You guys, this is phenomenal. If you don't want to wear heavy concealer, but you want to conceal something, this is so full coverage. And so this is great. Say you're trying to just spot conceal something, you could use a teeny little brush, but I just use my finger for a lot of stuff. But this is virtually like nothing on your skin, but it gives such full coverage. Sometimes if I have like this hollowed out area that you can see, I'll add just the teeniest dot of it right kind of below that hollowed out area, just to kind of, you see how that just kind of brightens it up and helps disguise that hollow. And then when you look at it up close, it doesn't look like you have on cakey makeup. Okay, now we're down to bronzer and lip products. And this bronzer, I wasn't gonna buy it because I'm like, that's a dumb price for a bronzer. But this is Dior, of course. And so again, if I was not a content creator, I would never buy these super ridiculously expensive high-end products, but I like to test them to see, especially when I can try to find dupes. Now, I'm not a huge bronzer person, but I will say I love this bronzer. Like, especially somebody like me who's not a makeup artist, who isn't great with makeup, a lot of times I will just do one little swoop in a bronzer, not do what I'm sitting here doing. I'll just bloop, bloop, do this, and then blot it and put it on my face, and it just looks patchy and it just looks a hot mess, even when I use a better brush. But I don't know if you can tell how, this should be called airbrushed bronzer. I don't even know the name of it. Maybe it is called that, or they should call it that. This is the most gorgeous bronzer I've ever used, and maybe that's why I never loved bronzers, because, well, number one, I'm not a makeup artist. You can't go wrong with this. Now, it does have some fragrance. I actually like the fragrance in it, but I'm not usually somebody who likes fragrance in my makeup or leave-on products, but some days I'll just use this as my eyeshadow and that's it. So I am gonna bring this with me only because I love it. Like, absolutely love, love, love this. Do you guys know of any dupes to this? Now, I'm not talking just a similar shade or just a great affordable bronzer. I'm talking something that even applies like this. And I'm not trying to encourage you to go buy it either, because like I said, I just think a lot of products are ridiculously priced. Let's do lips. Let me show you what I'm bringing for my lips. I pretty much wear the same lip product every day. I do almost always wear the same lip liner. This one from Wet n Wild, and this is inexpensive, and this is better than any high-end lip liner I've ever tried. Now, I used to use regular lip liners, and a lot of them would stay on for a while, but since I'm a lip gloss girl, I love lip gloss. Lip gloss will pretty much eat through every lip liner I've ever used. And I'm kind of low maintenance. Like, once I do my makeup during the day, I don't want to have to touch anything up other than, of course, sunscreen, you know, or sunscreen makeup, or maybe just a little gloss. But I don't feel like touching up anything else. I don't even want to touch up my lips after I eat a greasy burger. So this lip liner, I always do this because this gets the product out. But can you see how flimsy this is? And I probably will get a new one. I literally just bought like 10 more of these because I don't ever want to run out. And for a while there, it was like sold out everywhere. This one's in the shade Nude Tights. I do have the other 2 shades. It only comes in 3 shades. So many of the other lip liner products that are stains, they are such a thick tip, and this is so thin. You can either use it thick or you can use it super duper thin. I love this so much. And this will stay on my lips all day long. I can eat a greasy burger, I can drink my coffee, whatever. This does not budge once it's set. And I always take my finger and just kind of gently blend it, just so it's not such a harsh line. The other thing I love about this, now that I'm 53, I've got this teeny little wrinkle here that is starting to, it's etched in now, and it stays put all the time. It's not like one of those wrinkles that, you know, you sleep and it's like, oh, I got sleep wrinkles, and then they disappear through the day. No, this thing stays all day long. So the problem with me, since I love lip gloss and beautiful greasy products, it migrates into that little nook and cranny right there. I just have that one little wrinkle there. But I will use, you know, the most viral lip products, lip liner, a lipstick, lip gloss, whatever, and then about 2 hours later I look in the mirror and it's already made its way down in that crevice. It looks like a little road map, like pointing up here. So this lip liner, if you are of the mature age or if you have any lip wrinkles, I'm telling you, this stuff, you could spray you could go swimming. This is not going to move off of your lips. I've tried every single lip liner stain on the market. Summer Fridays came out with their version, so I do like this one in the shade, I think this is Mocha. I like this one. The shade Almond that is sold out everywhere, that actually I have it, that everybody is raving about, this shade right here, Almond, this is too light for my lips. I mean, this is like the color of my lips. So it's pretty. It's pretty if you have lighter lips than me, but I do have darker lips. I just put my makeup over top of them to make them blend with my face, but the shade Mocha is really nice. And the tip on this one is nicer than the Huda Beauty one. So if you're looking for a really pretty kind of brown, neutral brown shade, the Summer Fridays are much better than the Huda. But the only reason I like this one, let me just open a new one, is this actual shade. I've tried the ones from CoverGirl because I thought, oh my gosh, the CoverGirl ones will be an exact dupe. But this one goes on so pretty, this shade. This looks like that Your Lips But Better, or kind of I Just Had a Popsicle type look. And the ones from CoverGirl are just too dark. So this one I think is called Baby Pink. It's not a baby pink. It's definitely a pink pink. But on my lips, it's just a perfect shade. But this is what this shade looks like from Huda Beauty. I just think it's a beautiful shade. I just hate the product, to be quite honest. I hate the applicator. So I'm just looking for another lip stain that goes on fairly quickly like this. So if you guys know of one, like I said, I've tried the NYX, I've tried all the Summer Fridays. The Summer Fridays had one that I thought was gonna be a dupe, but it's a different shade of pink. It's a different tone. Usually I just put my all-time favorite lip plumper on from Revision Skincare. It's just a clear gloss, but I mean, wow, this makes a difference. And it's just so pretty. And look at how just this clear gloss completely changes the way my lips were looking. And that's pretty much what I do for my lips every day, and this is going to stay put all day long. Now, I do bring this other lipstick. I've shared it a gazillion times. This used to be so popular, the Tom Ford Spanish Pink. People had told me that they don't sell it anymore, but I just bought another one, either at Nordstrom or Sephora, I forget, because this one's almost out. But this is a really pretty shade, so if I just wanna, this is gonna stain my lips, but if I wanna add a little bit of a different shade, this is beautiful just by itself without the stain underneath. And the other thing I do is I put my Giselle that I've already shared, my SPF 50 blush. I'll just put a little smidge of that in the center to add that extra sunscreen. But if I am going to be outside, we often forget about our lips, of course, and our neck and our hands when we're outside. For sunscreen, I will pile on some of my sunscreen lip gloss. I love this shade. This one's from Cali Ray. This is an SPF 31. This is such a pretty gloss. Let me show you the shade. I really like this. It's like a cool toned kind of purpley pink. If I bought, let me just show you what I bought at Sephora real quick. I bought this and I didn't love it. This is that Violette FR Bisou Balm or whatever. I got Batiste, I think, and it's a little too, I thought it was gonna be more kind of plummy, and it's not. So I love that it's kind of like a sheer wash of color, but this shade on me, I don't love it. And so what I do is I put this kind of purpley pink gloss over top of this, and it turns it into that perfect plum shade that I love. So I'll just show you really quick what I do for like finishing touches. I'm just gonna use this one that I used for the bronzer. For finishing touches, I take some of this Say blush, and then I just kind of go over top of everything. I love blush. Are you guys like that? And you just love, love, love blush? I could put 20 different blushes on and create my own shade. Another finishing touch I like to do, I'll take this amazing teeny BK Beauty brush, and especially for nighttime, I'll dip it in either the brown or the black, and then I kind of just press off excess on my hand. And then this is when I create my wing. A lot of times if I do it beforehand, I'm like, oh, that doesn't look right. So I always like to do it after my mascara is on. So then I just go really close to my lash line, and then I just kind of see where my last lash is going up, and then I just kind of go right behind it and bloop. And I don't go like this or anything like that. I look straight, in the mirror so it won't mess with that hooded skin hanging. And then I take a brush. I usually get the smaller Eyeshadow brush and just slightly blend it. It doesn't make a huge difference, but enough to create just a little bit kind of extra lift. So if you're like me and you don't like to wear fake lashes, I don't know how to wear fake lashes, but if you don't want to wear fake lashes but you just kind of want to fake it that your lashes are a little bit more extended on the end, that's how I like to do just that kind of little lightweight wing. It's probably not even that noticeable. All right, this setting spray, it's new to me. I don't know how long it's been on the market. This is from LYS Beauty. When I use my CL foundation, this sets my CL, like, this is so impressive. This is their Skin Loyalty Blur Mattify Set Makeup Setting Spray. It says it's mattifying, but it's not like dry, cakey mattifying, because if you watch my channel, you know I like that beautiful, healthy glow. Do you see this is like just the most gentle mist on my face, and I generously cover my entire face. Once it dries down, it makes your pores look so pretty, but I just think this is one of the best makeup setting sprays I've ever tried. All right, and then one other thing, I keep this in my makeup bag, even though it's not makeup, but only because this helps cover gray hair. Even though my hair is brown, it's actually all gray, all white. This is coloring that's on my hair. The grays, as you can see, that's not skin, this is gray hair that's showing here. And my hair will be down, but these little pieces right here and right here, this is just like a mascara, but this is so neat. This has the little mascara wand on one end and then like a little blending sponge on the other. So I will just take this. This is a newer one, so it's got a lot of product that came out. Let's wipe some of that off. But I will just take this, and this, of course, don't get it all over your face like I just did. It comes right off until it dries. And then I just kind of brush through the hairs. Now I don't worry about back here because my hair is not going to be pulled back. So once, you know, my hair's down, all you'll see are these little pieces right here. And I love this. And then once this is on, this really stays put once it dries. I don't necessarily like to use the sprays or powders because I think it just kind of looks fake. So I like to only coat the actual hairs themselves, not so much get it all over my skin like I'm actually doing right now, but just to kind of show you. I usually do this in a zoom in mirror right here. But I like this little sponge because if I make a mess, it just kind of just sort of blends it around. And then once my hair is down, you won't see all those little gray pieces. But so I do keep this in my makeup bag. If you wanted to see that other video of all of the skincare that I bring with me that is a non-negotiable, that I must have with me every time I travel, I'll pop that other video up here if you wanted to click on it and check it out. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.